Initiation into Hermetics by Franz Barden. Did I say end of first step? Now step 2. Autosuggestion, or the secret of subconsciousness. Before proceeding to describe the exercises of the second step, let me explain the secret of the subconscious and its practical consequences. In the same way as normal consciousness has its seat in the soul and is activated by the cerebrum in the body, consequently the head, subconsciousness is a property of the soul, residing in the cerebellum, i.e. the back part of the head. With respect to the magical practice, let us deal with the study of the psychologic function of the cerebellum, consequently the subconscious. In every individual that is in his right senses, the normal sphere of consciousness is intact, i.e. he always and at any time is capable of making use of the functions of normal consciousness. As it results from our investigations, there is no power in the universe nor in man either which does not vary between opposites. Hence, we may consider subconsciousness as opposite to normal consciousness. That which in normal consciousness we subsume by the concepts of thinking, feeling, willing, memory, reason, intellect is reflected in our subconsciousness in a contrary way. Practically speaking, we can regard our subconsciousness as our opponent. The incentive or the impulse to all that is undesirable, such as our passions, our failures and weaknesses, is originating just in this very sphere of consciousness. Now, to the pupil, in the introspection, falls the task of disclosing the work of this subconsciousness according to the key of the elements or the tetrapolar magnet. This is a satisfactory task inasmuch as the pupil will acquire self-reliance by his own reflection or meditation. Hence, subconsciousness is the incentive of all we do not wish for. Let us learn how to transmute this, so to speak, antagonistic aspect of our ego, so that it not only does no harm, but, on the contrary, will help to realize our desires. Subconsciousness needs time and space in the material world for its realization. Two basic principles valid for all things that have to be transmuted into reality from the causal world. Withdrawing time and space from the subconscious, the opposite polarity will cease to bring its influence to bear upon us, and we shall be able to realize our wishes through the subconscious. This sudden elimination of the subconscious offers the key for the practical use of autosuggestion. If, for example, we inculcate in the subconsciousness the wish of not giving in tomorrow or any other time to any of our passions, say smoking or drinking alcohol, subconsciousness will have time enough to put some hindrance directly or indirectly in our way. In most of these cases, mainly in presence of feeble or underdeveloped willpower, subconsciousness will nearly always succeed in taking us by surprise or causing failures. On the other hand, if we exclude the concepts of time and space from subconsciousness while impregnating it with a desire, only the positive pole of subconsciousness will affect us, normal consciousness being equated, and our impregnate desire must have the success we are expecting. This knowledge and the possibilities relating to it are of the greatest importance for the magical development and have therefore to be considered as far as self-suggestion is concerned. The phrasing to choose for autosuggestion must always be expressed in the present and imperative form. You should not say, "I shall stop drinking or smoking," or so. The correct form is, "I do not smoke, I do not drink," or else, "I do not like smoking or drinking," and so on and so forth, according to whatever you wish to suggest in a positive or a negative sense. key or clue to self-suggestion is to be found in the form of the phrasing. It is that which always and in every respect has to be considered if you wish to do auto-suggestion through subconsciousness. Subconsciousness is acting in the most effective and penetrating way during the night when man is asleep. In the state of sleep, the activity of normal consciousness is suspended, subconsciousness working in its place. The most appropriate time for auto-suggestion, receptivity therefore, is the moment when the body is resting drowsily in bed, i.e. immediately before falling asleep, as well as immediately after waking up, when we remain still in a sort of being half awake. That does not mean that a different time would be quite unsuitable for self-suggestion, but these two moments are most promising, subconsciousness being most responsive then. That is why the magician will never go to sleep in an emotional attitude such as anger, depression, worries, which would have an unfavourable influence in his subconsciousness. Going on in the same train of thoughts he had fallen asleep with. Look here. Always go to sleep with peaceful and harmonious thoughts or ideas about success, health, and pleasant feelings. Before you are deciding for auto-suggestion practice, make up a small chain of wooden or glass pearls, about 30 to 40. If you have difficulties in procuring such a string of pearls, a piece of ordinary string will do fine. Tie 30 to 40 knots in it, and the little expedient for self-suggestion is completed. It is only meant to avoid counting when you are reiterating the suggestive formula over and over, and not to divert your attention. This little gadget will also serve to make sure how many disturbances happened during a certain time when you were practicing concentration and meditation exercises. All you have to do is to move a bead or a knot at every interruption. The practical use of auto-suggestion is very simple. If you have worded that which you want to achieve in a precise sentence respecting the present and imperative form, such as, I feel better and better every day, or I do not like smoking, or drinking, or I am healthy, content, happy, then you may pass to the real practice. Immediately before falling asleep, take your string of pearls or knots, and whether in an undertone softly or in your mind only according to your surroundings, repeat the phrase you have chosen, and move one bead or knot at every repetition until you arrive at the end of the string. Now you know for sure that you did repeat the formula 40 times. The main point is that you do imagine your wish as being realized already and having actual existence. Should you not yet feel sleepy after the repetition of the entire string of beads, engage yourself for a longer time with the idea that your wish has been accomplished, and keep on doing so until you fall at last asleep with your desire still in mind. You must try to transfer your desire to the sleep. Should you fall asleep while reiterating the formula and without having reached the end of the string for a second time, the purpose will nevertheless be achieved. In the morning, when you are not yet quite up and have some time to spare, you ought to reach for the string of pearls once more and repeat the exercise. Some people get up several times during the night for discharging urine or for some other reasons. If so, they can repeat this exercise as well, and all the sooner they will attain their desired aim. Now the question is arising, what kind of wishes can be accomplished by self-suggestion? Principally, every wish can be fulfilled as far as mind, soul, and body are concerned. For example, refining of the character, repression of ugly qualities, weaknesses, disorders, recovery of health, removal and promotion of various aptitudes, development of faculties, and so on. Certainly desires having nothing to do with the personality, such as lottery prices and such like, can never be fulfilled. You should never pass on to choose a new wish formula before you are not absolutely satisfied with the result of the first one. Who is starting seriously and systematically in these exercises will soon be amazed at the favourable influence of autosuggestion, and hold on to this method all his life.